madam.
Good evening,
How are you?
Jam. Okay lang.
Thank you
Eto.
kayo sa pagkuan anhi.
Yes, of
Wala
course.
po
Of
daan
course.
kuan. So, straight ko daan. Kinsay ga-imbento or asan nakakuha imong parents sa imong pangalan? Onna. Nakoy
Okay.
description unsa siya pero mas gana ko makadungog sa imong version.
I don't think na adyoy makaguess sa real reason because I think usually mo kag Onna Rhea automatic first una mo. Kinamagulangan dagini siya niya. Ang amo pag yung kinamagulangan baby face. So sige pa jud ko kasaypan nga kinamagulangan. Actually, I'm not the eldest sa
Oh,
family.
you're not?
No,
Joke.
I'm not. Kabalo na ni siya. But actually, ang nahitabo is before akong papa was a pastor, wala pa yung phone. Dili pa uso ang mga phone at that time. Nanganak si mama and then he was at a conference or conference sa mga pastor or something. Basta church work to siya. So wala siya atong ipanganak ko. Akong lolo may naa. Ang pangalan sa akong lolo, ang kinakaraan nga, Honorio with an H.
Oh, no.
Angga niya kay Nuyong. So, ila kong supposed to be Onaria unta ko. And then ang akong
Meron pong
auntie,
nawala.
akong auntie ni siya nga, ikuha na lang na siya, Onna Rhea. Di ba kay, of course, mga English man ang uso na pod nga mga names. So, muna siyang na Onna Rhea. So, named ko after my grandfather. Sa
I
side
thought
ng mother.
gikan na sa katong gi-research maguna nako ganiha.
Woman, di ba, sa Japan?
Oh,
Ako na po
woman where siya graceful. Basta yung nanaba. So, mura siya, kung unsa ka karon nga tig-perform ka and all.
Well,
Murag
I
mo na
don't
siya.
think I'm graceful though. I don't think graceful ba ko? Dangagon man ko off
Okay.
stage. Pero yeah.
Pero, you are part of a family of performers, singers.
Yeah, oo.
Grabe. Kung wala mo kabalo no, naani sila grupo, they actually performed here as a studio. Grabe. Grabe jud. Was it a pressure growing up sa family nga puro talented? Shout out ninyo tanan guys.
Shout out to the fambam. I think sa sinugdanan, dili siya pressure because murabag dili magud I never felt nga I mean somehow ginapugos gyud yung mga lessons. So sa mga namugos og pa-lesson sa ilang mga anak diha, it will be worth it in the future. Oo. So I mean, di ba, we hated it kano lessons ana. So nagtubo mi ana tungod kay musically inclined bang yun both parents. Pero I think as a family nga we sing together, personally, dili kay ko ka-remember nga ma-pressure ko before. Siguro katong nag-start na gid mig concert, ang pressure is mostly personal nga kanang if makaabot ba ko ani nga note kay so, depende unsa ka challenging ang songs and pieces katong nagsugod na gyud mi og concert didto na to murag grabe ang pressure pero I think from the start gyud dili kaayo because music was always our day-to-day life siguro. Dumagete mi and then mag-travel migbais, we listen to music before maminaw rami and then later on kay paunhanay na mig second voice.
Hey.
Dayon napoy times nga paunhanay mi unsa ni siya nga song cause our parents have like really good taste in music. In fairness, we're very fortunate na our parents are very supportive pero we also never felt nga they were kana ganing aggressively you have to be excellent. Kana ganing of course they encourage us and the genes help, yes, definitely. Kay murabag kanang literally nakaingon normal ra dagay sa pamilya nga mukanta no kay we never thought nga dili dai siya normal
Not in our family.
nga specialty kay side man pud tanan sa akong mother mo kanta, side pud sa akong father tigkantahay ba. So kung baga kung magkaraoke magani iluganay nag-microphone so man di ba pug sanay sa among families both sides iluganay na siya og microphone ya. Kana ba I think for the longest time we never thought it was special up until we went to school. Nga marabag, kana kay anak ng Miriam, anak ng Juni, pakantahan na. Dito na to nga marabang, nganong kuan, nganong ako, nganong kami, and then diya na nagkuan. Pero I also don't feel nga, I don't know, I think big deal kay sa mga tao. Pero para na mo, dili kay siya big deal.
Big deal nga.
Nga kanang like we're a family, kanang ganing we understand.
It's a big deal.
I mean, ambot lang.
Mga tao like me.
Siguro because we grew up with it gyud nga Murarag.
natural for you guys, normal ra.
Yeah, and then we also, because we don't pressure ourselves to join competitions or
Mm.
nga anak gyud gani, kana bang it's always been kanang fun, and it's always been a way to bond. We are extra close because of, sorry, because of music. So I think kana, of course na i-pressure at some point siguro, pero more on a skill level siya rather than as a Kizo family quintet dapat yung ana gani,
Oo, I
it's,
get it.
and more so kuan magud siya, mas music ministry magud siya more than anything. So
Mm.
I think if you have a skill or a talent to share, and then you're doing it for a greater purpose, it kind of takes away that
Mm.
ana gani,
Exactly.
that pressure, because the purpose in what you're doing ba.
Mm-mm.
So I think it's always been a pleasant ana ganing, especially because most of our songs kay Christian songs man
Mm.
pod. So it's always been a beautiful experience for the family.
So, puro man mo manganta no, nabay part sa balay nga assigned kay usahay na may trabaho. So,
Mm.
diri ikaw mo yung limpyo diri, ikaw yung hugas diri na. Nabay na naabot man na sa inyohang family nga murag na assign nga okay diri ra ka mo kanta dapita, diri ra ka mo kanta dapita. Did it happen or?
Well, as for voices, naagyod, based on capacity. So, na timing, honestly, na timing rapod gyud nga kaming lima, and I don't know, maybe God really works in one wonderful ways gyud, no, kay like si mama ug si papa were naturally lower man ilang voice, so alto and bass, and then akong two brothers baritone and tenor, pulihanay na sila, and then si John among eldest can also sing bass, and then ako soprano gyud ko like ever since, meaning makaya gyud ako ang higher notes. So kana in terms of voicing, in terms of function kanang sa management na nga side, um dili ko music student actually. Ang akong two brothers who, pero sige ko kasaypan nga music student, kay apil makog banda, apil pagog choir, nga kuan lagi ko major in sana ko, extracurricular. Gitawag nila nako sa una.
Super talented.
Um, Dili ko na jud ko kana ganing, I really enjoyed music, pero I didn't, for some reason I didn't really feel the need to major in it pud ba, maybe because it's been in my life for so long
It's
and I'm
natural
attracted.
baby, anak ka.
Dili ka na mo attracted ko to something challenging siguro.
Ah,
I
okay.
don't know. I don't know, pero until now I'm I don't know, life is a journey and whatever. Pero anyway, in terms of sa management sa grupo, before katong nagsugod na gyud with concert, napugsa ni actually og concert kay. Ingani siya, ingani gyud siya kadili big deal na mo. We really just enjoyed singing sa church. So for the longest time, obviously ang mo kuan sa rehearsals kay si mama ug si papa. Ingani gyud na ever since si mama ug si papa. And then katong time nga dorm manager man si papa before sa Adults Hall sa Siliman, and then naay isa ka dormer dito, kuya mo. Mura na siya walking Siliman encyclopedia. Very tall guy, always memorizing everyone's life actually. Mangutana kag bisan unsa nga chismis
Murag
sa Siliman.
nakakuan na
Kaila ka
niya.
na niya for sure.
Naka-attend ko sige seminar man niya sa una.
Yeah. Always hosting na siya,
Mm.
always ano. So anyway, dormer na siya ni Papa before, and then siya mo yung nakita sa among potential to really be like, to go for concerts and all of that, pero busy biya. Kabantay ka nang ang elementary o high school mas busy kaysa sa college.
Mm.
Kay ang class 8 to 5, and then gabi kay nangapil pagud mig banda, college band, ya, bata pa kay mi. So wala gid me time for concerts or whatever. So ang excuse always ni Papa, ni Kuya mo, is dili pa namo kaya kay mga bata kay kuan pa, busy pa kay sa school. Mo na pasangil niya. And then niabot og point nga kaming duha sa akong brother ni tungtong mig college. So pag first year college nako, gipaninglan namin kuya mo nga, wala na mo excuse ha, usa na lang mo'y nagkuan, usa na lang ang naa sa I think first year high school or second year high school siya ato.
Mm.
So mo to nga na at that time gihatagan gid mi niya og manager and then musical director. So
Wow.
ang musical director namo before is Kim Ventusa of Saksak Sinakol.
Yeah,
The
he's
lead
good. He's
the
good.
lead
Mm.
singer, and my God, grabe genius kay na siya og brain. Yaming gisulatan og notes. Atong time kay bag-o pa kayo si Wawi og saxophone. Ako dili gyud ko makayo nga maayo kog flute, kanang we had to learn all of these pieces nga iyang gi-arrange for us for our concerts. And then si Ate Kakay Pamaran, She's also a
Familiar
known
po.
singer
Mm.
pod, ilabi na sa Hayahay back in the day. Siya mo'y nag-make sure nga ang katong sa concert na mo is nindot ang flow ba. So, nahimo mig ambassador of Goodwill for Siliman in the year 2008. So, nag-tour mi around Mindanao.
Wow.
Um, yeah, promoting the school. And of course, it was really through concerts to siya. And then, basta funny kay ito siya, Sham, kay kanang karon nga, kanang every time we talk about it, kay magkataon na giding maayo, kay napa may mga recording, di ba si Wawi, akong brother, kay lami kay siya tingog ron, na siya, ang iyang, bata biya kay siya sa una. Ito, nag-start with concert. So, madungog di mo sa recording nga, musuti siya nga, okay, ako na po yung kanta.
Justin Bieber.
Oh, yes,
Wala pa
Justin
ni break ang tingog.
Yes, oh, it's so funny. And then we look back, yeah, makay mga buangan na to sa una no, kanang gipugos gyud nato atong self nga maka-learn og drums. Ano ako nag-drums ko before,
As in?
imagine. Yes. Bahala ka. Bahala gubot kayo. Pero anyway, kana siya na somehow na ay roles, and then katong wala na kay mi nag-concert karon when it comes to rehearsals, arrangement, it's more good sa heavy sa ako ang brothers, especially ang eldest nga brother, because ni go through man siya nag-major man siya at some point o choral conducting. So maayo gid siya ana nga area actually. So nimo siya musical director na for some time then. Sila nang duha sa akong younger brother si Wawi ang mas gadala gyud sa group sa musical aspect of it. But when it comes to management, depende raman if na mag-request, if na wala mi again dili gid siya honestly dili gid siya big deal, pero I mean of course we also always think na unsa kay may tabo no if gi tininuod na to tong ana no murag sikat na dagay kita ron na pero I
Bitaw.
mean pero I mean you know okay raman okay raman it was nice, and we still saying if koan kompleto mi.
Do you play pranks on each other? Kanang
Oh
mas
yes,
eh,
a lot. Pakulbaay. Siya funny. Sa family, na yung mga times nga, syempre magpakulbaan na yun eh. Oh my God, nato yung isa ka po nga, di jud ako siya makalimtan kay si, unsa gud to, si Papa ata to, kanang, I don't know, depende ra gyud kay, tungod aning music, closer me than most families, honestly, kay, like we spend a ridiculous amount of time together because of katong concerts palang daan, and then sige mang like every month na magud mi performance, so mapugsan gyud mi nga kompleto mi all the time. So na mga times nga magpakulbaan na mi kanang mga classic na naman. Ka remember ko si Papa natoy one time nga sila na gitong wawi moy gapakulbaanay or something, then ang iyang gihimo kay gibutangan niya iyang naong og pulbos daghan kaayo, basta kay scary kay siya lang tawon eh. Nisaka siya sa stairs niya. Pagkita niya nako, niya na siya nako, murag niya na siya mga aigsawa kay pakulbaan ako yung mga din. Ending ako mo ni syagit kay nakulbaan ko sa iyang naong. So, kana, the very basic na siya. Pero namong tulong manigsuon, kaming duha ni Wawi mo'y very, kanang magkasinabtanay dayon mi if mangwat mi og tao. Kana ganing
same wavelength.
same wavelength nga. Maglagot niya ng John o sahay among eldest kay kana ganing ako manghod manggod sige magud siya joke. So mabutag point nga di na matuong mga tao niya. So call ate day na siya. Di ba nang mo na din na siya niya. Di na ko na niya dapat storyaan. Automatic na ko nga. Yes, okay ko niya. Butangan ako na siya details nga marabag. Makaingon niya. Of course, ate Ona nagoy nag-ingon nga. Sakto di ang ingon din.
So kabalo na mi.
Oh, so
Wow.
pero ang among eldest, if na siya nang, he's the type who will say nga, dili manggod niya. Or sumuka niya. Uy, lami na kayong ilan. Wala na, ano. So yeah, we do a lot of pranks to each other. I mean, now not so much because, kuan man, nangatigulang na. I'm also out of the house already. Pero, yeah, before, kuan gyud kanang, the usual pranks siguro to siblings.
Do you ever get tired of hearing your siguro brother's voice or your father's voice? Kay kanang gasigira mo kanta. Kay kanang murag nabalaw na siguro ka or ambot nakaagi ka na.
Dili man nabalaw. I think naturally we hate our own voices. So ako personally, really don't like listening to my own voice. Pero sa ilaha, I think because we perform, it's more of in in a level wherein we always try to listen. Does it sound good? How can it improve? We give each other comments. Like for example, if if karat paminawon, then pa kuan ka paminawon diri pa ing ani ang technique ano. So we share techniques to each other pod. Um, kana dili kayo siya, ako personally dili ko mabalaw sa mga tingog. Dili kay I mean lami man sa mga tingog puro, pero ako maglagot ko sa akong own voice, like kana ganing maglagot ko maminaw, pero if maminaw ko namong tanan, I really love their voices, all four of them. Kanang para na ako kay makaingon jud nga wow, amazing. Ganahan kay ko sa ilang voices personally, and wala, never kong naabot og point nga nabalaw ko. Although, makapungot ng mag-rehearse. Kay, syempre, di man mo tarungon o kanta
Mm.
if mag-rehearsal ka. So, kana ganing, I don't really like listening to people rehearsing if I'm not rehearsing myself. Pero, kuan siya. Di, wala for, I
Wala
don't know.
ra.
Bito, no? Karoon ako naka-encounter ng question. Wala po ko nabalaw, in
Kinamo
fairness.
gay since gakanta. Nakauna na ra pud ko ani karon kay gakanta gud mo gikan. Sinugdanan pa
Yeah,
bata
yeah,
pa
yeah,
and then
yeah.
nagulang pila na gay mo edad joke.
31, and I am
Eh.
not ashamed of it. You should love and embrace your age. It's fine.
Pero mo kuan taga may sa singing. Di ba nakahinomdom ko sa una ni ato kag Singapore to ikaw ba to ni eskwela acting? Was it you?
Oh no, I got accepted, pero I never went. And na-timing po to siya because the first year would have been pandemic year. So I auditioned, but I didn't, wala ko ni padayon ato actually. Pero nag-Singapore ko for, I think 2 years ata to. For festivals lang siya. It was through a theater organization based in Dumaguete.
So let's talk about your acting na lang since we've talked about your
Sige, go.
singing. This I have very little information of.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
very curious magod sa kinabuhi sa mga tao. So, can we talk about your acting? Okay
Yeah,
ra
sure,
ba?
of course, of course.
Kay ganahan kong actually usan ni sa akong ganang buhaton mo himog salida gani nga kanang kaila ra tanan. For example ana. So, gamay ra kay kog kaila nga kanang tig-act gyud nga kanang they do it like you. Basig pwede ko nimong i-introduce sa group or unsa mo kadak adres Dumaguete. Dumaguete lang sa takay. Small. Siguro si
Yeah.
Hope ara kung nailhan lain. I don't know. Tig art,
Um,
tig-arte-ate po na sa Hope, di ba?
yeah. Well, for one, sa Dumaguete, naamagod tayo theater, like major in theater nga course sa Siliman. So, basically, honestly, wala gyoy. I think there were attempts in the past to make like an actors guild through Siliman University, but these were mostly students. And reality magud sa Siliman University is, students come and go. Most of the students are not even from here, especially those who take the arts. So, maato kag Kopva, I don't know pila ka percentage, but a big chunk are actually not from Dumaguete. They come to Dumaguete because it's the only place that has a school that is specifically Kopva, that has like a really nice loose auditorium. So I think muna yung limitation diha. In terms of acting pod for film, I believe and I noticed na it's mostly kanang mga kaila lang. Huy, are you interested? Depende, no? Depende in what capacity you would want to have actors. Because if mo yung kag professionally film, specifically for film, I don't know of any organization. Maybe there is, then wala lang ko kabalo. I think there was an attempt to open one here. I think I saw a post like a year ago or 2 years ago, murag, from Cebu siya ni branch out and then murag. But it's more of film actors to become future celebrities, if you know what I mean. Those kinds of
Yes. Ihasa pa ka.
yeah. Mura siyang ingon ana. I can't say so much about it. That's just my opinion based sa akong nakita sa mga posts. Kuya Hope and myself, we actually started sa theater. So not sa film. Ako kay nasulod ra ko sa film kay ano matutuot to. Kana ganing I think murag it just started with one film and then murabag na kuha ko sana. Ingana lang, ingana ra gyud nga murabag someone sees you in a film.
Uy, maayo man ni.
Alalas,
Next.
muhilak man ni. For some reason makahilak man ko. Pero kana siya, diya siya nag-start gyud sa theater gyud. So I don't think I ever expected myself to be in theater growing up. Like never gyud because it's always been just music. And then katong grade 4 ko, nisulod ko og theater play which was Fiddler on the Roof, Silliman University play sa Luz Auditorium with Ma'am Evelyn, the late Evelyn Aldecoa. Amazing director. Strekta pero maayo. Ana gani. And then kato siya musical maguto siya. So it's acting and singing, which is what I've already been doing. Baby pa kay ko ato grade 4, so marabag wa pa gyud nako siya ma-appreciate, no? Kana ganing I was just having fun with my co-stars. Marag for me kay dula lang to siya. So 2012 I believe, 2012 was the year nga na I show nga Godspell. And everyone thought I was in it. Bisag wala ko'y apil ato. Akong magulang may apil ato. No, pareha may mignaong. And then ang ila pong costume is dili pod kanang daghan siya heavy ang costuming ba. So daghang nakaingon nga apil ko ato, and then within the same year Ma'am Aldecoa passed away. So ako, I was very sad because I really wanted to audition sa next niya nga play just because she was my first director. Ana gani mo na it was very sentimental for me. I just wanted to experience it. And then so the next play ni audition dayon ko, and then I just fell in love with theater. Murabag wow, amazing man na kini nga form nga you get to not be yourself. And ana gani, and everyone thinks na it's scary, pero for me mas scary gani ang singing kaysa sa theater. Yes, dili ko kana ganing before magud kay like talking about pressure, no, murag like I said, pressure good to myself ang kanang before ko mogawas akong feel like oh my god, dapat tarungon nako kay unsa na lang ako ang reputation sa akong pamilya. Ano ba ingana akong mga internal nga mga thoughts. I'm always scared to sing before, pero in theater, you actually get to play a role and you have this huge responsibility to deliver a story through your character. And it's only when you fully understand your character that you're able to deliver it well. And every single performance is different. Ana gani, it's so different, gyud. So from theater, I really can't remember how, pero for some reason ang mga foundation ng mga filmmakers, they were able to get in touch with me. Maybe through Hersley, I can't even remember. Basta na-meet ako ang twins, si Fry and Murray. The first, maybe it was the first film that I did. I'm not sure. Pero ang first film kay Paglaom or something. Basta it's actually available on YouTube. Juliet Quizon was the director of that short film. Supposed to be ang akong character, it's about a prostitute, and then a young girl whose parents are breaking up, and then how their lives are kanang they meet each other, and then ana gani mga subtle hints on what the other is going through, and then heavy di kay ang go through sa woman in prostitution. And then at first akong tatong girl kay murabag heavy siya og crying, but like I told you, usually most filmmakers just get actors lang that they know of, because there really isn't like an official group, because honestly it's not really a profession here in Dumaguete. Siguro in Cebu it's something that you can really earn from, pero it's not really here. Bacolod, yes, I know nga naa sa Bacolod, they even do workshops every summer, pero wala gid kay na diri sa Dumaguete. So depende ra gyud if na kay kaila. So at some point na switch ang among roles, because ang prostitute nga role is actually very very heavy, because she experienced abuse in the past, ana gani. So mo to siya first time po na ko tong smoke. And I think that was the first and the only time I smoked, because I really don't want I don't like cigarette, and then ang role had to smoke man, so I had to
Suck it up.
to smoke. Pero for those who don't smoke, di na daw maila. Pero for those who smoke, they can tell nga, dili ko smoker. Pero, kana siya, it's a very interesting form pod, but it's actually very different sa theater, because sa theater, you have to be like larger than life. Ang imuhang voice modulation has to be very projected. Like, dapat madungog ka sa pinaka...
Exaggerate, good.
Yes, because gamay ba kay kalantawon, so dapat di ba, I mean,
Gamay like me.
gamay pa. I mean, if naa ka sa isa ka gym, for example niya, imong audience kay nas pinakaluyo, dapat ma-feel gyapon niya ang
Yes,
imong
yes.
acting. And film is very opposite. It has to be very subtle. Kay if OA pug kaayo, then well, depende sa form, no, pero if OA kayo, then it will be like a comedy or a farce or whatever. Pero usually ra bagud kay kuha ra bagud ko kanang mga heavy drama. So, kay ambot lang. Kusog mo ko mohilak, maybe tungod kay kapayason ko when I was younger. pero usually dagan kay ko roles nga kanang pahilakon ko serious roles, which kada heavy drama good usually. So kana siya, it's also very, very difficult. Ako personally, I find film more difficult than theater. Because ang theater, magod, you rehearse time and time again until you get it right. Ang film, kay, you can be in the best scene, kada ganing, yes, na perfect na ako to siya, and then the director can say again. Kada ganing, oh my God, asa na ko to siya. Kuwao na po. So,
Yeah, oo ko naunaan na
difficult
sa.
kayo siya.
Kay ang ako nahuna kay ang film, pwede man unlimited takes. Di man ka pwede masayo pa tong theater, di ba?
Pero ang theater man good, ako personally ha, ang theater man good, you practice it time and time again. So it doesn't just become your own performance, it's everyone's performance and
Mm.
everyone flows through the story
Dapat in
together.
sync mo
Ana
tanan.
ganino. So, kuan siya kanang it's not just like doing it right. Like for sure by the time you perform, you have mastered it already. Pero ang sa film man good, posible man good nga ang director will all of a sudden think na, I know, I don't like it, kanina pod, and then, of course, di ba, in between, kay bro, okay, change ano, then taro nga, yang kuan, ikaw, kay mara sige itong line.
Isuda bitaw no sa
Lisod gud
artista part.
siya.
Yep.
Honestly, lisod siya, and then, well, personally, ako pong experience good sa film, it's mostly like mga student films good siya, tanan, actually. I never did it like professionally, so, daghag times nga wala na ako na-memorize og tarong experience. So, naay mga times gyud nga kani sa to line. Sige. Ato nang balik-balik ko ni ilang kanang i-chop gani ang mga
Ah.
takes gani hangtod up until such time na I got it right. Pero not all the time ha, pero labi na katong mga films nga kana ganing like few weeks notice gani nya shoot na nya wala ko'y time to memorize kana mo'y struggle. So kana that's how I got into acting and really fell in love with it actually. It's really a beautiful form if you just allow yourself to be vulnerable and allow yourself to develop the skill and kanang at the end of the day you have to fall in love with the story manggod. Ana ba and if masulod ka into creative work, you will realize how there's so many beautiful stories that are being told by creatives, no? So, and I mean even 'di ba, even sa wedding kay 'di ba, even if you just make videos for weddings, you still need to have that wonderful storyline and I know
Yes.
people don't see what is behind cinematography. It's a lot of work, even just the smallest, 'di ba? The
Yes,
smallest
yes.
detail nga murag 15 minutes imong buhaton niya gamay ra kay siya it
Oh.
creates this huge
Gamay ra kayo kabaloana. But yeah,
yeah yeah
it's
yeah
you're right.
yeah
Then I just want to connect about katoy mohang part ato imong giingon nga salida cause nakabantay ko nga I think nakahimo ko og movie for G-Wave nga naa ka. Pero wala ka sa katong pag-film nako pero sa katong sa file murag lahi to inyohang group ato but na kadapit sa are you connected with G-Wave in ano?
I actually work for G-Wave now. I
Ay!
am
Sago di ay.
no ang G-Wave manggod and yet when I went into acting, I actually got introduced into this community theater organization called Youth Advocates through Theater Arts. And YATTA is a big partner of G-Wave, especially sa starting stages pa no katong beneficiaries sa G-Wave kay nag-receive pa og trainings from YATTA and all of that. So una mag-document ko sa G-Wave, magkuan ko I think as documenter siguro imong nakita because before kuan ga document ko for one of the projects sa G-Wave. So G-Wave is an NGO. It is really actually ga work ko sa G-Wave karon
Karon
which
sa
is really
kagasugod?
like 2021.
Kagahimo
So
ko
this
like
year is my
3,
second
4
year.
years, 5 years ago. Basta
Amo ba?
nakakita ko nimong murag ikaw ba tong naa sa murag usa sa pictures nga gatudlo ka og acting ba siguro or singing ana oh.
Siguro because naamang gud mi program nga ang
Random
beneficiary
kaya
sa
nga G-Wave na buday karon.
wala di ka kabalo.
Ako tatong kuan kana ganing ingnon ganing nag-research yun ako nigmahay ng
Yeah.
episode nga G-Wave. Okay.
Yeah,
Go.
I work for G-Wave now which is um I think no, Amrag, at the end of the day, like really God will put you in places
Yes.
na
Mm.
will make
Yes.
you saying, oh, wow, Marabag, I was so lost before and now I understand why
What
I had to be
go
lost.
through
Yeah, what I
all
had
of
to
those things.
yeah,
Yes.
for me to get to this point. So Yata, I if maka-join ka og Yata, you will for sure fall in love with it. It's really a community theater organization, but more than that, it's a family. And that's where I realized na wow, arts can be used for advocacy. Because I think for the
Mm.
longest time, kana ganing, obviously, no, ang advocacy yun naman sa among family is really music ministry, which is really for God and for our church and for spirituality in general. Um, but specifically when I learned about Yata, grabe kay siya mag-focus gud siya sa advocacies, which
Mm.
is environmental advocacy. It can be about positive discipline, about political stuff as well, which we even got involved at some point as an organization. So, because we are really an advocacy group, partner po naman ang G-Wave. So, munang na,
Mm.
siguro, it's one of those photos nga
Na-align.
na-appeal ko sa G-Wave niya. Sa una, kung ano jud ko kanang document, ana-ana. I never thought nga masulod ko sa G-Wave because it's just one of those nga partner organizations na I was also really looking up to nga, wow, amazing kay ang work sa G-Wave because it's really community-based and really helping
Mm.
women who have
Mm.
suffered abuse from their
Mm-mm.
partners and also even girls as well. So, grabe, seryoso kayo ang work sa G-Wave na I
Yes.
never thought I would get
Yes.
there because kana ganing artist na baya ko niya. Murag napunta ko dito ba. So, to tell you honestly, I didn't think I would like office work because I've always been creative. Ana gani murag there was one time na I had a job. I won't say where, pero
Don't say
it
where.
was it was a it was a simple job honestly, and it was kana ganing at some point in the beginning it was fun, and then at some point I was just stuck in the office. I wasn't doing anything. If
Mm.
naaray mo abot, ana gani, and then I think if you are a creative
Yes.
person, it really kills you, and then
Mm.
you really don't care about the money na and all of
Mm.
that. So the 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. was really kind of getting, my God, killing my soul. Miracle, Lord, help. What do I do? So, good thing I didn't sign any contract. So I really quit. And then when G Wave actually contacted me, they needed a new program head sa advocacy and constituency building a program. At that time, I was like, oh my God.
This is it.
I was worried yun, hello, office work. What if di ko ganan? Sige lang, ako na itry because at that point, manggod, 2 months na lang until the end of the phase. And then, nag-ingon ang executive director na mo si Shima na, sige lang, once, itry lang ang 2 months and then you decide if you want to reapply if you want to continue for the next phase sa G-Wave. So, for me, it was like, ay, 2 months, no strings attached. Tanana. And then I fell in love with the work, and I'm very stressed now. Honestly, I'm very busy, but I always remind myself, but I love my job. Kana ganing
Yeah,
when you
there's
when you
something
have
about helping, I think.
yeah. There's something about
Maka-addict siya.
yeah, exactly,
Mm.
diba? I mean, and in whatever capacity, it doesn't have to be like really rescuing people. It's just knowing that you're passionate about what you're doing, and then you're doing, kanang you have an impact to the community, and that people are actually kanang even at least thinking about something when they never thought nga importante ni siya. Diba? That's such a beautiful moment. I really started seeing that sa Yata, and then it really continued from then on, this being an advocate. Um, pero I mean, I also don't feel na I'm perfect, no? Kanang I really try to be, and that's why I always encourage people na, parang you don't have to be, I don't think there's a perfect advocate mo. I mean, people sometimes are so scared of the word advocate or kanang activist because, yeah, it's like people think that you have to be 100%. It would be great if you could be, pero to tell you honestly, it's very difficult. I mean, we slip up because we're so used to being, I mean, toxic, diba? In the past, I mean, even just throwing trash, diba? It's so difficult. Kay mura bag nagtubo kog ka nga everyone does it, so it's your accepted normal, and then here comes na you learn nga di siya maayo, and then every day you're faced with a challenge nga, I'm so tired, I don't want to do this. Ana no, so ingon na, I mean, kana siya, I think community work, labi na if I think ang community work yun is really something else. It's really something special when you see, because I think people now are so busy with their own individual problems, and we're so consumed by our own, not ego man, but I mean it's valid mong good, like people just want to survive, people just want to attain a certain goal, diba? But when you get to serve the community and you see something so simple as a workshop, no feeling nimo sayo normal kay ng workshop. And then you hear people say na never gone through this before. They never knew it before. They're so happy na sila na learn. Even performances, di ba? Oh my God, I never thought nga naa day ingon aning gitawag nga kuan positive discipline or whatever, 'di ba? Which is the same impact videos have. For example, nga naay mga very powerful videos and when you watch it, it's really like, "Oh my God, what a beautifully made video that makes you reflect about that certain topic for like a week and mga ganing really encourages you to have nga naa joy behavioral change." So, kana siya, layo na kayo kung napuntahan, no? Pero
Okay ra
basically,
eh.
na, ga-work ko karon actually sa G-Wave. And it's been a great journey. It's been a, kuan, being
So
an
far,
advocate.
unsay highlight nimo kabalo kung kuan pa kayo, medyo dili pa kayo taas og sample nga kuan makapangita tag highlight, but so far sa imong trabaho sa G-Wave, unsay pwede nimong ma-share kay usahay di man gud ta pwede ka share sa matag ka ng mga
Yeah,
ano.
of course, cases, no? Um, So, ang ako nga work specifically, I don't really deal with clients because sa advocacy man ko nga leg. So, when G-Wave started, it was really hotlines. It was providing lawyers to some point, and then later on, the NGO, and this is because of a few cases. This is because of like a few survivors who asked help from a small group of advocates na they thought might help them because no one else could, regardless of existing agencies who are supposed to be already there on that to help. Ana gani ba? Because they felt nga, ana no wala na, mura magkuan, mura magdili ko makadaog. So, from there, that small group of advocates of women and men actually really saw na murag kinahanglan gyud og NGO, murag it's not enough nga nakita ba ang need for an NGO, and that's why NGOs exists because there is a need. But essentially, NGO's goal is to not exist because it means the problem is solved. Meaning, okay na. Pero, sad to say, we're still very much needed. Every time I talk to my direct beneficiaries, sige gid sila ingon nga, unta ma'am, ipadayon na gyud ning G-Wave, nga di na jud mawala ang G-Wave, ano na, no? Pero, ang akong work is, di ba, at some point kay, from legal assistance, naduha na siya. So na ay advocacy and constituency building a program. So under me is Men for Violence Free Communities nga program. So that is headed by our coordinator Fermar Makatigib. Siya ang kuan siya ang gahandle ana nga program karon. It is men actually, men beneficiaries na siya to educate men nganong importante nga dili nga kana no ang culture of violence dapat maundang, unsa po'y mga katungod sa mga kalalakinan, and how men can be more proactive in ending violence against women and children. So, that's a wonderful program na aming mga facilitators na pudaan na from the beneficiary. So, sila na, mga lalaki, makigstorya sa ubang mga lalaki nga, dili pwede nga, kuan, dagmalon ang mga babayi. Because, I mean, I think a lot of people, magod will immediately say, especially from men nga, ang babayi, ma'am, kigipalangga na magod ng mga babayi sa balaod. Ganong, kinahanglan pa mang yun. Ana gani no because true enough there are special laws for women, and this is because needed man siya, because when you just look at the statistics taas pagyapon kayo siya. There's still a lot of women who are being abused psychologically, physically, emotionally, sexually by even their intimate partners, regardless of what they're wearing, regardless of how angry they were at the time. Kay magyaw-yaw magud mo ana mo mga madungog. So kana MVFC na siya nga program. Ang ako I really focus on ang partnership sa LGUs, meaning existing
Mm.
agencies in recognition nga naa naman yun untay mga built-in nga mga
Mm.
mechanisms within the LGU. How can G-Wave strengthen that? How can
Mm.
we so ako is VAUDES functionality sa barangay nga level na ay nagitawag nga VAUDES officer.
Vow kay violence
Violence
against
against
women.
women also. These are usually women, kagawad members, sometimes volunteers, selected by the barangay captain who handle vow cases.
Mm.
So, muna siyang, kung naagani mag-away, managtiayon, atos barangay, ang vow desk officer mo handle ana nga
Mm.
case. And then, of course, if na ay mga other partners po nga NGOs or organizations, that's also under my leg. So, muna siya ang sa advocacy and constituency building program. Pero ang legal assistance program, because it's confidential cases, I really don't know who the clients are. I'm not supposed to know. So, I think naara jud to'y one time nga nakabalo ko sa client because ni-reach out ang client sa ako personally. So that's the only extent nga, that's the only reason nga makabalo ko sa client. Pero even when we have meetings, there's no mentioning of names because it's highly confidential. We have like an entire shelf nga locked na siya nga. Ang naara jud access is among legal team. So kana siya, G-Wave has been alive for so many years now, and kana unfortunately, the problem is still there. We just had a recent loss. If you've heard the case katong teacher sa Valencia, that was actually one of our clients. Katong si
Teacher na.
Irma.
Kato
Teacher
na
Irma.
siyang
It was a murder case nga napatay siya sa iyahang bana, and then
iyang bana is not a Filipino? Is that it?
oh
Or
no, that was
different?
that's different. That's actually Bella Glacier, a good friend of
Ay,
mine
Bella,
from
pareha naman.
kauban ni sa Hilera. Actually met her daughter sa cause we did a workshop. Very kana siya, very honestly kanang I'm so heartbroken ang case ni Bella because it got dismissed in a certain level because of venue basically. So ila pa nang i-refile. Basta it's so frustrating ang case ni Bella because kana and we've seen it time and time again. If you have a perpetrator who has the capacity financially, we honestly sa GW we really seen it so many times. So pero ako on a personal note, it was really very painful for me nga. I was really in disbelief. Ka remember pa ko busy ka ko gikan kog meeting and nagstorya ako mga office mate about the case, and then katong na ako isa ka office mate nagpakita siya sa photo mo ni siya ons mura kog na shock nga ha. No, that's not true. Murag in disbelief ko the whole time, and kana siya we're so fortunate nga ang friends ni Bella have really have really done so much good for her, and kana it cases such as Bella and the teacher sa Valencia, Irma. I mean, mashock ka itanong nga murag ha, grabe ra pug kaayo nga gipatay, pero honestly we even see the problem within sa community. You'll see in the comment section, ngano pud siyang gipatay, unsa pud niyang gihimo? Victim blaming is extremely heavy in our culture.
Regardless kung
gani.
sa gihimo, dapat.
Exactly. Naakay mabasa nga, amo na, nga wa man siya ni file og kaso. Bulag naman day sila, nga
Oh
nagkita
my
pa man
God.
sila. Ana ba? So, unfortunately, that is something I always hear, to tell you honestly, with my line of work. And I cannot say na people are immediately to blame because we also grew up with this manggod. Kana ganing, we hear it when we were young, and so we say it when we get older. So the challenge there is how can we avoid the younger generation to be as toxic as we are now. I mean, honestly, diba? If I didn't get into advocacy, maybe I would have done the same thing because I didn't know any better. That's why importante kay ang arts.
Yes.
No, that's
How
why
do we do it?
importante
Sao
kay
na
ang
to pag
arts.
what do you think is the best move? Nga kanang I think art has this effect of kanang we can change an idea siguro that's been there.
Mm.
What do you think we should do?
I think it's not just one thing. It has to be an entire mechanism if we really want to have like social change, diba? And daghan mo gud ang levels, diba? And right now we're
Yeah.
just talking about kanang, I mean, it starts with the home palang gani daan. Like for example, let's just say LGBT, diba? You can say na a person supports the LGBT community, pero inigna siya pag umangkon nga nagbinayot unsa may isulti? Agay, bayot man niya. Di ba? Marabag as if bayot is such a bad term, as if it would be so embarrassing if the child would be gay. So, of course, when a child would show his feminine side in school, unsa may isulti si mga classmate, bayot. Ana, di ba? Marabag as if it's such a bad thing. So, I always say it really starts from the home. How are we educating children? But more so, muna'y challenge gid sa arts. Like, how can we get from, bisa kana lang, kana pa lang sa nga level. There's a lot of movement. I think somehow we're fortunate that we have social media. It's reaching out to a lot of people. There's a lot of young people who are hashtag woke, di ba? In these
Hashtag bro.
hashtag woke, di ba? Pero it's still a long way to go because makatakod man good. I mean, honestly, makatakod kaayo ang kanang traditional toxic mindset na especially sa Philippines because sa Pilipinas man good, dili man gud kay nato ni big deal. And usually ang excuses man gud nato ay western ra kaayo na mura
Mm.
pug kag sikin sa mga Amerikano ka.
Or
Yeah,
maybe
lahi
ga
ta
joke ra
diri.
ko ana.
Joke ra man good.
Mm.
Nganong seryoso ra kay ka joke ra man
Mm.
good. Ana ba? So and honestly, I was like that before po. Murag, ay, it's just a joke. Kay bully man kay ko. Samot na before. I mean, sometimes I still am today sa akong mga close friends. Pero, kana gani, marabag when you really go into advocacy, maka step back na ka ba, wait, okay na ba ni siya? Or you see someone nga who is being heavily bullied and then everyone is passing it out as a joke. How can you like support that person and or will you have the guts to tell everyone nga na this is not good na kana mo lisod kaayo sa Pilipinas kana mo lisod kaayo. So I think ang hagit gyud when it comes to arts is unsaon nato nga the creative work that we do is actually a call to action. Because right now there's a lot of awareness going on. Pero I don't see so much that kana ganing really call to action. You have to do something about it. Ano ba? Kung ano siya, di ba? Marabag sad videos. Ano marabag, oh my God, this is happening. Pero I think kana mo'y kulang marabag what can I do in my own capacity? There are man, it's not like it's zero. Pero kana ba? Because again, people are just so busy with personal things na we forget na there's an entire world that also needs our help in whatever small capacity that we have.
So far sa imuhang trabaho, nagamit ba imuhang pagka performer,
Pagka-performer.
pagka singer, pagka artista? Nagamit siya sa kuan sa imong trabaho so far?
um, well, yes, definitely. Because tig-workshop man ko and I speak man pod to ano. So, I think in that capacity, wala na gyud ko'y somehow wala na gyud ko'y stage fright. If imo kong pa storyaon in front of LGU members or unsa ba na, I'm not scared. Kumbaga, so it has helped me and I'm not scared because of my performing background. Because I think a lot of people, especially sa work that I do, di gyud siya lalim because makigstorya man jud ka og mayor, makigstorya ka ana ba mga tag-as og positions. And I mean, honestly, I'm also just fortunate nga naa jud ko'y background sa YATTA because ang YATTA magod other than performing and arts, it's also organizing. So, pagsulod na ako sa G-Wave, na ko'y experience good when it comes to organizing, coordination, and all of that. So, yeah, somehow, gamit gyapon siya, especially since advocacy man siya, na may mga radio plugs, na may mga videos himuon, na may mga performances, dako kayo tabang ang akong background. So, anytime na ako'y ganahan nga himuon nga nga for example like ang radio plug for example na kabalo na ako kasi akong kuhaon kay naman po ko yung mga friends in the arts. So I think the arts is something for everyone. It's not just kana gani kung sa imong hilig. I think everyone should experience any form of art at all. It will really make your soul alive even if it's just a coloring book. Ana gani you have to experience art. It's ako personally I di ko ka-imagine what I would be without the arts. I think dili na ko. I don't think I can do the whole 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Ana gani. I mean, somehow gabuhat mo po ko na sa G-Wave because naman po yung paperworks nga needed. Pero kung walay art, no? My God, what a dreadful life siguro. Ako, abot lang. I mean, 'di ba? Bisan 'di ba? Your
Yeah.
experience.
Yes.
Kapoy kayong wedding. Pero pakita nimo sa video.
Yes.
Ano man siya? You
Um,
forget. 'Di ba?
For me, mura siya, it's my siguro calling murag
Yeah.
if I think I'm made to be doing what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
Kay pwede man ko sa ako rin pwede man ko kuntahay na ay mahitabo, na ay calamity. Pwede ko motabang og dok dito,
Exactly,
ana, mobidog something, but dili na siya may best nga dapat
capacity
akong
nimo. Oh,
buhaton.
yes, yes,
Okay.
yes,
Pwede ko
exactly.
mahimog video that could reach a lot more people and
And
gain
in
a lot of
turn,
help.
well, exactly, exactly.
So kana siya na mas I think I'm the most effective human being nga videographer ko. Mura yun na siya akong
Yeah.
pagtuo.
And kana pod siya, I also feel na in the arts, it has to feel easy. It's hard because it's still work. People don't think it's work. People think it's hobby, pero it's really hard work. I mean, just one song is how many rehearsals just to
Yeah.
get to one song. Then
Yes.
inyo pag yung hangyoon ng musician sa iyang
Yes.
talent fee. So, kana no, it's really hard work, pero like when you're doing it, and then especially like after, it's so fulfilling, and it's such a beautiful experience because it's, di ba, if you think about it, it's something other animals don't even have. I mean, human beings, we have the capacity to create and to enjoy art. And
Yes.
so because we can, why won't you? Ana gani, it can
Yes.
be anything lagi. It can be
Mm.
anything. And each one to his or her own.
Mm.
'Di ba? Because I think naiuban nga not for them ra gyud ang kuan ang visual arts, naapoy uban nga di gyud para sa ilahang
Mm.
music, pero diri di ay, no?
Legit para na ko ang music na.
Pwede ba
To
even
be
just
honest.
listening is
Pero yeah,
Pero
I
yeah.
think nain stuck diha nga word love. If you don't love it,
Yeah.
di jud ka mo kuan. Di ka kahuman, dili ka mo di ka
Yeah.
yeah. Dili
Yeah, yeah.
pwede nga mabuhat kag art kung if you don't love it.
Yeah, if it's with a heavy heart, and I mean, I think it applies to everything, whatever job you have. 'Di ba? You really have to fall in love with it. Otherwise, you go to school for 12 years only to work for the rest of your life before you die.
Mm.
'Di ba? I mean, kakabasa ko ani ako nga, oh my God, what a crazy reality human beings go through.
Mm.
We suffer school and then we suffer work. Ana gani, that's why you really have to be in a work na you truly kanang at the end of the day, wow, that made
Something
me
that makes you
feel
happy.
good. Yeah,
Mm.
that was so
Mm.
good. Ana gani.
Mm.
And I think mo po na siya, ako personally na swerte ana pag ko nga sabaan man ko sa akong parents, yes, pero di ra pud gyud siguro, no, not compared to the other parents that I hear of from my friends nga kanang you have no choice, you have to go to this course, you have to
Mm.
ana gani. I think
There's a lot
that's,
of those.
yeah, it's so sad, and honestly I don't know what to do about it because I have friends even before maging nga ate si kuan mong good ano niya mura ba, what can I do ana gani,
Mm.
because at the end of the day, best intention man pud sa
Mm.
parent niya. There's so many artists out there, you see nga, usika oy, usika maayo ta kay siya.
Kana good.
Yeah.
Mayo kaayo not that it's a bad I don't know if it's a bad thing nga ni trabaho siya wala sa Pilipinas pa jud banana didto
Yeah.
and he or she is talking about going back to being an artist but the job is there
Yeah,
dili
yeah.
pwede ana ba sayang but
Sayang yun. Pero that's why it's really a calling to our community as well. Because if we really were all super supportive of artists, do you really think wala mo enroll to ana, 'di ba? I mean, if being an artist could be a full-time job that is competitive to other, 'di ba, high-paying nga ano, then I think, because honestly, there's a lot, labi na mga Pinoy, grabe, amazing kaayo. Amazing kayong Pinoy, to tell you honestly, labi na, and I'm sure you know, no, daghan kayong mga maayong nga artists nga Filipinos. Maayo jud kaayo nga kana gani makaingon jud ko, wow, amazing. And there's only very few who have the guts to really kana ganing pursue it as a career, because obviously you have to feed yourself. You have to, if you have a
kana
family,
if
feed your
there's
family.
a way of
Yeah.
monetizing kanang TikTok mga inana nimo
Yeah.
kanang ma-viral gani sa YouTube nga magkanta ang Pinoy nga galin niya inana entertainment na nas laing lugar hubot
Yeah.
pintahon
Yeah.
gibayran ang mga tawo to do those things
Yeah.
nya sa to adre lingaw ra inana if there's
Yeah.
a way of monetizing those mas maayo tag maabot ana
Yeah. Siguro
Sayang.
tungod kay daghang king talented no nga
Mm.
murabag para sa mga Pinoy kay dili ra na big deal kay daghang mga
Oh,
nindot og ting.
mo na.
I mean, if imo I don't know if imo nang na interviews Kuya Hope pero Kuya Hope
Next.
katong siya next
Next.
So, katong siya pod may nag-adto sa Singapore. Actually, bisan asa ka mo adto, ang comment sa mga tao kay murabag, "You're a Filipino, sing, sing." Kaya they think nga all
Ay, nako.
Filipinos can
Don't do that to
sing.
me.
Kaya, yeah, naiingon na nga perception ba pero I mean, ano gani, I think it's such a long way to go pa pero again, no, we're fortunate to have mediums such as social media, TikTok, and pero I wished nga people really understood just how difficult the arts can be and just how beautiful it is if we just all work together to ano no to support each other essentially.
So, unsay pinakalisod nimong talking about difficulty? What's the most sa imong mahinumduman sa performance na lang, focus as performance. Unsay pinakalisod nimong nabuhat?
Pinakalisod,
Mm.
oh God, I think katotong Ampalaya siguro nga show.
Ampalaya is
Ampalaya the musical. It was a
musical, okay.
musical theater performance with Michael Dadap as the director, writer, musical director and writer. It was directed by Desa Quesada Pam. Oh my God, kapoy kay ito nga production. Well, one, mga utan man gud me. We are vegetables. And then, sa second, naman act 1 and then act 2. So, sa act 2, from okra tong akong character. Sa act 2, kay ako si ubod man sa saging. Kay ang story magud ni Ampalaya is, siya ning bag-o nga vegetable, aning kuan, o saka community of vegetables. And then, suyaan kay siya. Nasuya siya sa spice ni kuan nasuya kay siya lagot kay siya kay nganong kuan nganong sila kay spicy siya kay humot so gikawat niya ang mga good traits
Atog siya na
sa
bitter.
tanan sumunod siyang na bitter siya kay nasubraan ba kay kawat niya tanan so siya gitawag na tong merese so anyway sa second act ako tong huwis I was the judge and then lisod kaayo siya because there was this platform I think kuan magud siya there had to be that element of wow where did she come from so ang platform ato na ako sa luyo mukamang ko pasaka and then on I believe 6-inch heels ata to I had to be in heels kay dapat man murag high ranking kemi and then gown nga kanaganing gown nga heavy gown nga murag wedding gown gid ang peg niya then akong costumes akong gloves ato kay napag siya yung mga extension so magkatapot-tapot pa sila and plus face paint so paspasanay og ilis sa face paint
Ay.
paspasanay og ilis og everything attach pag yun og mga pilok whatever basta this kapoy kaayo siya in terms of katong costuming and then changing of costume and then naapagoy times nga mapalong akong lapel.
Oh no.
Naatoy times nga napalong akong lapel nga literally gasyagit ko. Pero in fairness, tungod kay na I don't know, I think liwat lagi kong tungod lagi ni sa jeans ni Papa. Dako jud kog tingog if I really need my voice to be loud. Madungog ra gyud noon daw ko bisag sa tao sa pinaka last. Pero grabe gyud kanang kapoy kay tong challenging ka ito siya nga show. And more so at some point tungod kay sige to gibalik-balik nga show ang face paint ni sulod na sa akong mata.
Oh
And
no.
then, kana na ganing maabot nag-point nga while I was on stage, kanang blinding na gyud kanang if I open my eyes, muluha na gyud akong mata niya. Ako nga, oh my God, dili na ni siya healthy. Pag nagdaot na akong kinanglan ako kung i-hospitalize. So, when the show had to be restaged na po, dahil sila i-restage niya, anan ako sa producer ato nga, dili ko mo perform kung dili kabuki ang makeup. Ang kabuki magud nga makeup, it's really like Japanese makeup that they use. So it's the brand itself na it's really murabag just in case it goes into your eyes, it's fine. So
It's safe.
so kuan gid siya kay face paint lang to siya nga we got from National Bookstore. Oh my God, wala na National Bookstore. Sorry. Segue. Naka-realize ko, oh my God. Anyway, so kato siya murag pag next shows na ato, okay na siya. Pero I think sa first few shows, kapoy kaayo siya, challenging kaayo siya. But in terms of quick change, ang pinakagrabe nga quick change nga kanaganing every single time kay kanaganing adrenaline rush gid siya is definitely Into the Woods. I was Cinderella, would you believe? Nakatawa ko kayo. Funny kayo because I wanted to be the witch.
Eh!
I didn't want to be this poor Cinderella who just wants the prince, whatever. Pero anyway, fun magutong Into the Woods kay kuan siya ba, it's a realistic take on these Disney fairy tales, blah blah blah.
Mm.
Na scene nga from the house, mag-ball gown na si Cinderella. So, literally, before, akong remember, paggawa sa pag-adto na ko off stage, hubo na diretso niya kanang wala na ko ilabot kung kinsa mo naamod diha, wala na ko ilabot basta kay dapat makasulod
Ilis
ko
na
on
yun.
time kay I think mga 2 minutes or ata 2 minutes and then kuha na siya ha with gown and everything. So na duha ka buok nga mag-assist na kuha ng a costume change, and I think it's really one of the hardest costume change sa known nga mga Broadway musicals. Lisod gid siya nga costume change because laliman ka from peasant clothes to
Cinderella.
gown. So lisod gid siya niya. Ang mas nakapait pag gid ato kay kani sa theater magod kay of course sa gunso na mga shows makalaba di kay in between. Di ba dili niya. Sa una pag dili pa uso ng dryer sa mga laundry shops. So, nato mi show nga mga bata, cute kids, among audience. And of course, after the show, who do they want to go to? Cinderella! Cinderella! Ang kaya ako lang, the only thing in my brain is like, oh my God, baho kaya akong costume. Ayaw ako ninyo galugag maayo, please. Aloy mo sa inyong self. So, mo to siya. Funny na to siya. Moment reminiscing, yeah.
What's the most embarrassing? If
Oh
there's any.
gosh. Sa show?
Ay, ikaw, unsay mo na kuan?
Embarrassing. I don't know. I always, kuan naman good. I think, before, katong, dali pa kay ikong Oh, okay. Found one. Family yun. Sa theater, wala kay ko yung ma-think ka embarrassing. Siguro na, pero di ko ka-remember. Sa family, so, nagkanta mi sa church. My God, kung malanta ako mga churchmates, ani makaingon gyud sila nga, amo, dito siya. So, ang among choir loft, naa siya sa taas. So, if nadiri ang kuan, nadiri ang pastor, ang congregation, nami sa taas, sa luyo, dapit. So, if mo kanta mi sa taas, dili may makita unless if mo lingi ka, di ba? So, naay that kind of element. Such as in most churches, I believe, nga naay choir loft. So, anyway, nanganta ang family. I think, offertory at to or something. Kana si Papa. Sorry. Kana si Papa, dali kay na siyang masayop.
Ay, papa.
I mean, mga sayop man mi. Pero si Papa kay obvious magiging siya masayop. Kay funny kay yung face ba. Kana ganing, he's asking for help as if maka-help mi niya. Kana, wala na siya lagi. Kana ganing iyang nawa. Tamangi ko. Ya kami. We can't help you. So, ano pagtabang ni mo base pagjag ka. So, natay time nga, nagsamay circle mi. Si Mama, ako, I think akong duha ka brothers din si Papa. And then it was, I'll never forget the song. Hallelujah, hallelujah. I think we sang it here. I'm not sure, pero anyway, while nanganta mi, I think either within that year or a year before that, ang among grandmother passed away. So, ang ako rang nakita kay si Mama na ni shed nga tear kay tapad man mi kay I really made it to a point nga never na kong mulantaw ni Papa if magkanta mi. Kaya if makita ko siyang nang makatawa man ko. So, kana ganing, okay, every time na makata, avoid eye contact. Focus na lang sa audience. So, si Mama, nitulo iyang luha. Pagtulo iyang luha kay, yung nga, na-touch na gini si Mama sa song. Gimingaw na gini siyang lula. So, gananan ako siya, gihapuhap na ko siya niya. After like a few seconds, gihapuhap na ko siya, nipahawa siya. While singing the song was not finished yet. Nihawa siya kalit. Ako nga, ano ni pawa sa manya? Paglandan ako sa kilid, wala na silang tanan. And then silang upat, naana sila sa kilid, literally galigiranay na sila katawanay. Ako na lang usa nabili. And then, good thing soprano ko. So, literally, ako na sa, hallelujah, hallelujah. Akong gi-finish ang song by myself. Galanta na dyan ko na, unsay nahitom. So, ang nahitabo di ay, kay si Papa, nagkasinayop na po si Papa. Gananan na po siya ba niya? Ang akong doon kaigsuon, gano'n naging sila gakatawanay na sila ba? Si mama, nakahilak di siya
Kinatawa.
kinatawa. Nya, pag ana na ko niya, samot na noon siyang nakatawa. Kay wala siya, kanang nakarealize siya nga, I had no
Makakabantay.
idea nga, kakatawaan na day sila. So, nang disappear silang tanan, ako nila rin nagkanta din, makita gina ko sa silong ang mga tao, kay gana, gud sila, sinitabo ka na ganun, nganong usan nila yung nabilin. So, yeah, that is one of the, in terms of the family, daghang mga embarrassing moments to tell you honestly, pero kato siya ang, I think one of the, dato siya sa mga top, top 10. So, yeah.
Na ba kay kanang mo perform ka before na ba yung mga rituals before ka mo
Rituals.
personal or family na may guyo sa like ang uban kay magampo, magdagandagan.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
na
yeah.
kay nana wala.
Definitely, yes, pero depende. Depende unsa siya nga show. Sa family, we always pray before we sing, especially if it's a concert and then kanang no hulba kayo me and all of that. In terms of sa theater, depende gyud. Depende sa ako ang type of role. Definitely, you have to physically warm up because even if na-master na nimo, if you don't warm up your body, you will not sustain yourself. You need the energy to sustain you. When it comes to serious roles, kaya naman ko yung mga roles siguro nga maghilak-hilak ko. So, sa mga roles nga kailangan ko mahilak, naadyo ko akong own nga time nga like 10 minutes before I go in, dapat quiet na ko ana kanang I'm just
Internalize
focusing,
na ka.
internalize ako ana like no one should di wala na pwedeng mo ko ana ko na kimurabag I need the energy and focus to inighilak na niya nako pohon, which is sorry, another funny moment. Natoy one time nga na may show nya kanig yung akong kauban Pipoy, if you're listening, kaila kang Pipoy, di ba? Benji Kitay. Animal gyud ni Pipoy kay sa YATTA man good. Close na ako kay Miana, and then kani siya nga show kay sige na amo na ni gina-tour everywhere, and then kaning stage na mo gym, and then gamay ka ning backstage, and then so if mo igo ang lights, you get the lights from the front lights, wala gyud actual lights sa luyo nya magkita anay rabi niya sige mig kataw anay unsa ka gamay ang space kay struggle kaayo kay paspas man to nga show ba. So natoy one time nga focus ako kay lola akong role ato niya, okay focus ako ganan ako internalize na ko skilled si Pipoy nga kuan jud kaning panulay gyud ni si Pipoy kay ngit-ngit ha, ngit-ngit, and then murag again ha, dulom jud kaayo. Nya, of course sa theater close na kayo mi, bahalag maghubuan na mi, not totally, pero ano underwear na wala na kayo, di na big deal. Si Pipoy nga niwang pa jud kay siya, gabrip ra siya na yun. Ana siya kanang gakuan siya kay gasalig siya nga later pa siya mosulod ba. Ana siya ko. Ona. Ning gasayo-sayo siya ba yung Pipoy animal jud ka Pipoy kamalo ka ang ga-focus ko diri. Pagawas na ko, wala ko nakahilak. Pero, mura na gyap ko gahilak sa akong tingog. Pero wala ni tulo kay tungod ni Pipoy. Because, again, I really need my 10 minutes. I really need that moment nga focus ra ko kay if wala, fake, wala. Digid mo tulo because, I mean, people ask me how you cry. You don't have to imagine your dog dying or your family members dying. You really need to kind of really understand the character and what's happening in that moment for you to really feel that raw emotion. Ako, at least that's my process. So, kana siya. Usa kita tong gistorya.
How would you cry?
How would you cry?
Kuan, if you were to sige na ko murag ako ning ganang ipauso sa akong mga interviewon. If you are to switch bodies with siguro somebody you look up to, who would it be? Just for a day. Kana ganing if you just want to be experience
out of
siguro.
curiosity.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Kinsa tuod. I mean, ako man gud ang type of person na I really appreciate the complexities of life, including the hardships. I think I got to that point na, I mean, obviously you'd want more, you wish this was this and that, pero I don't know. Siguro,
Singer,
a
actress.
singer, actress.
Depende. Kinsa man.
Well,
Off the top of
Beyonce
your-
has always been my queen, so
Hey. Come
yeah,
on.
I mean, I think everyone would like to know how the queen lives in a day siguro. So I think yes,
Yes.
Beyonce, just because she is. Kapag kang Beyonce nga, if imo siyang, di ba she has like a few films, murag mo stand out yun siya, kana ganing grabe yun iyahang
Kuan kay
queen energy.
kuan kay iyahang moves. Murag calculated kayo. Nga. kung mubuhat siya ani dapat mo excel jud
Yes,
siya. She
yes.
has to be seen,
Pero
maximize
sometimes
iyang
I'm worried about her about with that. But I mean, I'm not sure if she's really that kind of person or she has built herself to be
I
like
think
that. Kanang I wish na she doesn't put too much
pressure on
pressure on
herself.
herself because she's already amazing with what she
Pwede na
does.
siyang maundang.
Yeah,
Should
oh,
have.
she can retire
I
and ano.
think 10 times siguro basta
Yeah,
dato na kay
yeah,
siya. If you
yeah.
pwede na siya maundang.
Retiring, kuan na gyud siya. Yeah, so I mean, out of curiosity lang ha, pero ako, I'd still say nga, whoever you are, just enjoy the life that
See,
you
you're the
have. And,
second person nga naingon ako na. Nga kuan.
really? Sa podcast?
Oo. Then next question would be kinsa imong ganahang maka-collab singing na lang una. Dead or alive kung papilian ka kinsa
Oh my
siguro.
gosh, collab?
Hmm.
Oh my. Singing? Oh my. Ah, Jason Mraz siguro.
Eh.
Obsessed kay kung Jason Mraz before. Just because duet, of course. Ano ba? Lamig kay siya songs and kanang paspas kay siya. Basta natoy time nga obsessed kay ko sa iyang songs because I had this one friend who just introduced me to his weird kay ni ha.
Dili
I'm a
yours.
musician, I'm a singer pero I dili ko hilig og music. Yes, I know.
Dili
It's
siya
so weird.
weird. Actually,
Ama, dagang kakaila.
take video ko pero wala ko'y trabaho di jud ko magdalag camera.
Yeah.
Murag
Ingan ako. I
inana.
mean, I don't really like kanang mo research ko like usahay ra gyud like very rare kay na siya like if kuan lang gyud kanang murag hala na interested kay ko for some reason because also honestly for some reason I'm constantly busy. I think people really know me nga sige ko nga busy. Okay, with whatever I do sige ko busy. But anyway, naatoy one time nga akong classmate from college, iya akong gi-introduce ni Jason Mraz and then nag-ingon siya mo ni siya iyang songs so paminawa ra good. And then if imo binagsaon iyang lyrics and then
I'm
usa ka
yours. I'm yours. Dili na I'm yours nga kanta.
oh, I'd like to sing siguro either remedy or wordplay. Kanang I want to challenge myself to kay lisod na siya nga songs almost rap na siya kay marag grabe lalaki si yeah I think Jason Mraz funny kayo kay ang akong crush ni Jason Mraz before was so intense na I photoshopped our pictures together marag buwak funny kayo no kanang looking back ba sa imong teenage years mong buwangan ako sa una pero yeah I think Jason Mraz definitely for singing. Did you say ano kanang for ano pod?
Acting. Ambot depende if you
For
feel like
acting,
giving a name.
for acting, I'd really like kinsa man. So many to choose from. Honestly, ganahan kog mga local nga mga talents. Si Chai siguro, share definitely. I met her
Chai
actually.
is
Chai share katong sa Patay na si Jesus, ang katong
wala ko
lesbian
kakita. Ako na
character.
tanawon. Ako
Yeah,
kita.
she's naa siya Cebu based na siya nga kuan nga artist. She's really kuan, she's amazing pod ang iyahang ano, ang energy niya and ang ano acting skills niya. I think that would be fun. Kaya honestly, I know Inglesera kay ko no, pero ganahan gyud ko og Bisaya. I mean, if imo kong hatagan og English script, I mean, I can do it, but I really like Bisaya better. Lahi ra if Bisaya, di ba? I mean, lahi ra if Bisaya ang song.
Lahi og hit.
Especially for the artist. I think lahi ra siya. And more so, I mean, sige gid ako nang i-question before, I mean, my God, naglibo ko if I should mention it.
Go.
This, pero, I mean, ang Siliman Magod is like an American institution, and so all of the programs are in English. It's all in English. All the songs are in English. All the plays are in English. Even performances that are Philippine setting are in English. Ana gani, so, marabag at some point, mara na akong mga question nga, nganong English? I mean, honestly, I've had performances in the past nga English niya, ang story kay kabahig Mindanao or kabahig ana gani so ako naana ko ana nga point nga I wished there was more effort to really localize creative work because I mean you can always say na well because we have foreign guests ako if I'm a foreigner I don't want to listen to English place, I like to listen to your language. Murabag,
Mm.
let them adjust. They're the visitors.
Yes.
Di ba? Ako personally, that's
Do you
my
think
take on it.
there's a need for kanang Bisaya nga kuan? Is there kay I think gawnahon na ang mga tawag market ana why it's it has to be in English or very least Tagalog kay tungod sa market nga yang do
Mm-mm.
you think there's a market for it na kung i-Bisaya na tanan?
I'm not so sure because colonial mentality, very Western ba kayo atong. I mean, even the clothes that we wear, diba? It's very Western. You are social the closer you are to the white man and the long nose and whatever he looks like and whatever he buys,
Mm.
diba? So sadly, munay reality sa masa, no?
Mm.
Sa pangmasa, 'di ba? You see that even ang skin color pa lang daan, you have to be lighter skin. We can just appreciate whatever skin color we have, 'di ba? Whether you're ana ba, pero at the end of the day, it's all business man god. Like you sell man god, you gain money from having a nation who hates its own kind.
Mm.
If you think about it.
Quote.
'Di ba? In fact, if imong lantawon ato kag bisag mga especially old Tagalog films, even now, unsa man usually ang Bisaya, di ba mura siya funny? It's not really taken seriously. People who make films who are seryoso nga films, for example, in Bisaya, are unsa man? Mga Bisaya ra pod. Pero yung kag adto sa Manila, usually if na yung mga Bisaya diha, mura siya the funny character or Bisaya ang accent, so lower siya og class or lower. Di ba nga na ba? So sadly, honestly, sadly that is how media has played a role. Pero definitely if you elevate the artistry and you show people na no, this is the language and this is and this is it is this quality, I think
I think
baling
so
nindota
too.
kaayo.
I think so too.
And you know what? You will see that in a lot of indie films. Directors are doing that. It's just wala lang siya nabot sa.
Kulang exposure.
Yeah. I mean, 'di ba na gani mga nagsugod na pod gani ang let's say ang films such as General Luna or Goyo, 'di ba? These are even on the job. Katong kang Ann Curtis, katong bag-o lang. Sige to siya. Katong Netflix.
Mm.
Kato siya, nagsugod na ang mga indie style nga mga films nga very localized jud kayo siya. Of course, there's still a lot of problems that we go through. I mean, di ba marag na ito'y show before nga unsa gud to bagani and then ang mga actors nga mga puti kay ilang gipang make-upan og brown ya mura mag cringy kayo kay mura mag
Kainaw.
just get brown just get brown actors na lang oy. Pero nga na ba, I mean, I think if kita as artists we take enough effort, good, I think people will follow because if you have noticed for the longest time, we have been trying so hard to go Western. Nga karon, if kabantay ka, countries are freaking out about their culture because it's really becoming endangered.
Mm.
'Di ba? Nanay kay makita nga revisiting nanay for example people who belong in indigenous tribes na westernized na ta sila, they want to go back
Go
to
back,
their
yes.
roots. Filipinos wanting Filipino tattoos. We're going towards that direction, which is going back to our ancestry, going back to who we truly are as a nation, no, as Filipinos. And it will really take artists to get there, honestly. Importante kayo because 'di ba we even call it Filipiniana costume. It's not a costume. A superhero has a costume, but a Filipiniana is a clothing. It was our reality before, pero karon himo na siyang costume. We speak the language, di ba? For example, sa academe, di ba nagpanik ng academe kay ang mga bata di naman kabalong binisaya. Mo nang nasulod ang mother tongue. In our effort to be so westernized to no quote unquote globalization, 'di ba? We want to be able to compete and we forget na we have rich resources, we have a rich culture, we have been beautiful the whole time and we're just unfortunately we gained independence pero naragyapon ang ato ang colonial mentality ana. So kana it is possible I feel pero dako siya nga effort because lisod kayo siya if it's like liman ka 300 years sa Spaniards and after sa Spaniards kinsa man ato sunod idol ang mga Amerikano, di ba niya gibaligya pag ganito sa Amerika din, and yet still until now kay brag, wow, America, I love you so much. If you think about it, di ba? Pero unfortunately there importante jud kaayo nga extra gyud ang atong effort as artists to no i-revive gyud atong kultura and to show people na it's high quality. It's not
Kaya man jud
it's
kayo
not
actually.
binutchok, di ba? Ana ba?
Dagan kayong Bisaya nga maayo man. Actually kanang music nga Bisaya ron nagligay na siya og
Yes, di ba? Nagsugod na. That's what
Sugod
I'm
na.
saying. Gasugod na siya because I think murag ang world came to a realization nga, oh my God, we're all the same color na. Gani murag, hala, we all look the same. What's happening? Because naka-attend mo kog workshop, I think before the pandemic. It's called like cultural mapping. It's a project through the National Commission on Culture and the Arts. It is, I think ang title is Mugna ata to. No, sorry. It's just cultural mapping. So, basically, gi-workshop me and we were trying to figure out unsa ning mga kultura nga nahibilin sa Dumaguete. Yeah, ang basis ana is at least 50 years or older. Murag ana gani. So, nasubay na puro subay and then you will realize, hala bitaw no, wala na lagi nagkuan ani. Hala, wala na lagi tuod ni gamit ani. Hala, wala na lagi tuod tay mga ingon aning mga artisans. Ingon ana, like you will freak out if i-map gyud mo siya binagsa because you see in media, we all have the same goal. We all have the same dream house. We all have the same dream job. All have the same dream financial income. Filipinos were never like that. Ang atong natural na to sa una is as long as we belong into a community where we all survive, we were happy. We were happy people, just that. Pero karon gani, what happened to us? What happened to us? It's so sad.
But it's so funny you mentioned that kay I think usan is atong topic when we first talked for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, before,
Masya na siya kay ganahan po kung muhimog video ato. Katugan ning taga Mabinay nga unsa to locals diha gani.
Katong mga weavers,
Katong
Gihulgan Weavers, katong Women's Association.
no katong taga Mabinay gani nga
Sorry, Mabinay.
Mabinay nga unsa gani nang kanagay magbahag pa and stuff.
Mga ata.
Mga ata
Yeah.
Diha ko I think nakabalo ko nimo anang information katong naato si
Yeah.
kinsa kitong director ko yung nato ato si
Oh, I forgot the name. But yes.
basta
yes.
kato siya katon
Yes,
time
yes,
ako
yes.
naka-decide ko nga sige one of these days ako tong atuon.
Yeah,
Pero
so-
nahitabo.
So sad, honestly, kana siya about sa ata nga tribe. It's so super sad and makagul kay siya. Simple example. There was one time na there was an event. A friend actually mo yung nag-share sa ako ani. And murag they came out with their clothing and then people saw them and ang reaction sa mga tao is, ala, cute kay sila. And then, ang akong friend, because YATTA man siya and advocate na po siya, and because we constantly talk about this, ni-react siya, murag, say cute, why are you calling them cute? Murabag, ana gani ba? Murabag, and then, trying to have a conversation with his friend. And honestly, I'm sure it was well-intentioned, di ba? Murabag, we're trying to show appreciation, pero how do we show appreciation to people in indigenous tribes? Wangod, for example. So many people were angry nga gipanaog si Wangod. If ganahan kang i-celebrate siya, ikaw mo'y mukat-kat dito. Tigulang na kaayo ng pag magbalatok din, imo siyang panaugon only to be surrounded by so many people and putting her in a stressful environment. Why? Because you want to glorify her and show her to... gani? Mura ba ganig? It's like, right now, how we are treating indigenous tribes, mura ba, they're such rare birds. Let's put them in a cage and let's look at them. Wow, it's so... ba? Unfortunately, that's how most Filipinos, diba, marabag see people in indigenous tribes. Ako, I was fortunate enough na nakabisita ko sa Talandig tribe. I need to go back. Talandig tribe, I think the year was 2019 or 2018. I was there for 10 days. Kuyog si Kuya Nikki dumapit.
Wow.
Niadto ko. So, oh my God, dito dyan ko naka-learn nga, wow, this is what Filipinos are supposed to be.
Ganang ko na.
Kanang balay nga if simentado kay maulaw sila if na siminto ang ilang balay. Kay you're supposed murabag ang teachings mungod sa ilahang tribo is dapat humble ra imong home. Si Waway, for example, Waway Saway, which is sikat na siya nga musician that comes from that tribe. Daghan kini siya bisita every day, every week, lain-lain og bisita. Duha yang balay. Ang usa kay kahoy, ang usa kay simentado. Asa siya gapuyo? Sa kahoy. Iya mga bisita mo dito simentado. So ingon ana sila dito, and then you really feel nga if visitor ka dito nga dili nimo ma-feel nga murabag kani kay nani kwarta ni murabag hello, welcome to our tribe, this is how we are. Kuan enjoy ana ganing ana imong ma-feel ba. Unfortunately, daghang tribes susama sa ata nga tribe, at least when we visited there, I don't know kung kumusta na karon, because they have been so oppressed for so long nga if katong nangad to me, if you wanted them to perform a ritual kay dapat manglibre usa ka og tandway and makagulang siya because obviously it's not because they wanted to be this way now. It's because they were forced into forgetting their rituals, forgetting their culture, because they had no choice. They needed to survive. Yung unsa mo pag-survive, kinahanglan man tang mo muskwila, kinahanglan gani ba? So,
Trabaho.
dako gud siya nga hagit pud gyud sa atong gobyerno ug unsa na to pag pag revitalize sa atong mga existing nga tribes. We have tribes in Negros Oriental. It is through I hope the name is correct. Mr. Reynante Cabanag. I met him a few years ago. Kabanay ka ng kuan, himag nga oil.
Dili ko familiar.
Sikat na siya sa mga taga-opisina kay kuan na siya. Basically, kuan na siya, oil na siya gikan sa tribo, and then it was through him nga murag nahimo siya enterprise gani ba nga. Naay private owner and then in partnership sa tribo para maka-earn pud ang tribo. So, di ba bukid ba ang tribo? How did they survive for the longest time without a hospital or anything? It's because of their ancient, 'di ba, mga medication nila. So, nanan sila oil and everything. So, kani siya si Sir Reynante sa una man gud daw ang form daw of money before the Spaniards came is basically trade, 'di ba? And sa una sa kadaghang yuta, dili na pare karon nga agawan ng yuta sa una, himo ikog kuan mupalit sila og for example, iyang papa kay tighimo man og say tawag ini tool maker man iyang papa. So muhimog tool yang papa, ilisan siya yuta. So niabot og point nga dako kay siya yuta. So ang nahitabo gyud, oh my God, should I be saying this? So, ang hitabo yun before is daghan jud kaayo nga taga-tribo nga nakawatan sa ilahang yuta. Siya mismo, from being a landowner, nahimo siyang worker sa usa ka hacienda. Sa iyang kaugalingon nga yuta. Nasamad pa gani siya at some point sa iyang pagtrabaho ba. So, ingon ana ka grabe ang oppression nga na-feel sa mga katawhan na mga igsoon nato sa tribo. Nga hangtod karon wa pa na mauli nila tanan.
Bitaw.
Wala pa until now, and unfortunately ang system nato, even if wala na ang mga Spaniards, our systems, 'di ba? Political systems and all of those powerful family names are still not giving it back ba. So kana siya. It's sad and it's still happening now.
Ganahan ba ako mo puyo og at least 3 days just to absorb what it is that they're doing on a daily basis.
Kuyog ni Kuya Nikki dumapit. Kuyog ta, ato ta.
Mananghid ko sa kong asawa, but I'd love to do it one of these days.
I think whole day travel and then abot na ka dito.
Pero asa ganin dapita?
Bukidnon, Cagayan.
Ay, kalayo.
Cagayan. Layo gyud noon siya. If ganahan ka maka-experience og tribo nga buhi pa kayo ang culture. Namo pa yung mga tribes here, pero ako personally wala pa ko naka-visit. Ang katurang sa ata nga tribe, and then kuan na murag na ana nga point ba nga
naka-adto mi actually sa pandemic nya. Pag adto nako murag giingnan kung wala naman duty sinina ana diri sir ko naman kay puro na nay trabaho ang mga tao, construction worker nang uban na ba. So kana mo magsinina ra sila ato ilang mga costume.
Yeah.
Tawag natin
pero,
costume.
Mula gina siya because they were really forced into it. it's not like you really cannot say nga aw nipili mapud sila nga manarbaho sila. No, I mean, do you
If
think
naara
if
joy.
wala nakawat ilahang yuta, if naara sila
Mm.
way of living, do you
Mm.
really think they would force themselves to become modern day slaves
Mm.
essentially? And 'di ba? I mean, na grabe pag yung kaayo mo ridicule ang mga tao sa mga people sa IP community, especially here sa Negros Oriental because wala man kayo tay IP. So, 'di ba, ata is a term to derogatory term din na
Mm.
siya.
Huwag
Kay
yung ako
itom na
kabaloan
kay
sa
ko.
itawag ba?
Ana ba, mara ba gani nga itom na kay ko, mara kog ata ana bagay mo as if it's such a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. I mean, I wish they were still ano. Pero kana lagi niabot na gyud sa point nga it's so sad na mura ba kung saan tuod na to pagbalik because right now NCCA is trying so hard to document everything. Ano no, naman tay koan um and National Indigenous People NIIP National something Indigenous People. So basically sila mo'y kuan sila mo'y gahimo og mga programs specifically for indigenous tribes and they came up with this beautiful encyclopedia. My god, I want to own one. Mahal kay ang sa kabuok tanan recorded naa po dito ang ata nga tribe and all of that. So gina-record nila pero I'm sure for tribes na outside of Mindanao kaya ang daghan magud nga Mindanao tribes nga buhi pag yung kaayo because I heard at least nga sa una ko no ang rason ko no nga nung wala kay nakapenetrate ang mga Espanyol is because sa kadaghang mga tribo sa Mindanao sa una katong mga isog mo ilang kanang nagkuan sila ba okay diri ta ha din kamo diri mo ana ba nagkasinabtanay sila ba kay sige sa away so ang katong mga headhunters mo ilang gibutang sa coast. So ang mga Spaniards dili sila
Lisurog sulod.
makalusot dili sila kalusot gyud kay di man makigstorya patyon diretso. Muna ni tapos Dumaguete. Did you know that? The history of Dagit? So,
Dagit. Kabalo ko sa
Dagit,
dagit.
di ba? Ano tang na Dagit? Before, we thought na it was because we were, naay these people from other countries nga kawat rin yung mga Pinoy. Ang nitabo actually, we were conquered sa Spaniards. And ang Spaniards, paglantaw nila sa South, uy, naalagi murag dako kayong isla dito ta sunod. That was Mindanao. Pag adto nila dito, they did not succeed ang Spaniards. So, when they went back, ang mga taga Mindanao, so nga dito sila nibalik, taga dito sila. So, ang mga raiders from the south are actually also Filipinos. They had no idea nga Pinoy punta. Ang ilahara, mubalo sila nga, kumo maninitry,
Ni-attacking,
basog, mubalik na po ni Diri, dapat atuunhan. So, we were sold as slaves to Mindanao. Munay hitabo actually because very fierce kaayo ang mga raiders in the past. So, kana siya, nakuha, dami na nating daldal. Sige,
Okay, Roy. Mama mahitabo ba sa podcast? Daghan kong nakatunan po actually. Pero salamat kayo nga nisugot ka ani.
Yeah,
Okay.
of course.
I think usa kas pinakauna na akong murag na kay gasryaan ta atong ata sa una ina usa kas
Yeah.
pinakauna na akong nastoryaan nga gana ko build something ingon ani ba sa una. I think do you remember aning conversation wala na wala na.
You know, I remember, Cham.
Sige, okay ra.
Ako, honestly, kung anak ko kabisi nga, murag makalimot ako. And I think na good problema sa akong memory kay kana ganing magsuryaan na miss ako. And I'm sure, kuan ani kay posible pa kung kasabaan sa akong mga igsoon. Dili mo tumaong nahitabo. I have bad memory to tell you honestly. Pero yeah, I definitely I also really remember ang ako yung ma-remember is really your journey towards wanting to break away from and really explore yourself as an artist and your impact to the community, which I think that's very rare because obviously daghan magud kay sa mga artists nga local artists na just want to you just want to prove na I can survive by just being an artist na. And when magug ka ng community work and usually there's very little
Yes.
to no money there and it's so difficult to get support pero ako I really appreciate Beatzy and what you are doing here. Amazing jud kaayo. I mean to tell you honestly when I first saw it yan na ko wow finally nabuhat gyud. Di ba? I mean we were talking
Just a
about
dream.
di ba chika-chika pa ni before because I think artists manggod specifically where we are located, honestly. Kay it's so difficult for us to really do what we want to do. Artists have, well, at least most artists that I know of are really mapugsan magug ka to be open-minded, diba? And then you realize nga, hala, the community needs so much help, and I want to make this big impact. Diba? I mean, I know si Hersley was even one of your, there was this one time ni visit ko sa iyang studio niya. Kana ganing happy ra kay ko niya. Lantar ko sa isa niya ka artwork mura ganing mura kong nag-uol nga mura na affected kayo ko nga wala ko kasabot. And that's exactly the power of art. And Hersley was, and such as yourself, is one of those na really took that extra step into saying, I don't care what will happen to me financially. I'll just
Try this out.
I'll just try this out because it's something that I know I need to do. And kana ba kana lang, it's really a hagit gid siya sa mga tao nga unta mo support kita sa mga artists pod. And then di ayun na mo hangyo, ayun na mo kung unsa yung rate, okay na siya. In fact, honestly, ako no, mag-ingon gyud ko sa mga art, especially visual artists. Mag-ask man ako, nag-teacher man ako before, ate, how much akong i-rate? Kung kani mo i-rate niya siya, dako ra kay natin nga, ayaw, dapat na kay imuhang sakto nga rate. Because, and I'm sure, I think na-issue po ni siya before sa mga guild of
course.
photographers nga.
Up until this day,
Diba, until
issue
now,
ra gihapon
you
na.
shouldn't price yourself cheap. Because you're not just affecting yourself, you're affecting the whole community of craftsmen and artists. Because the moment that you sell your portraits for 500 pesos per piece, if naay mangutana sa usa ka artist niya, moingon siya 5,000, siya hangan 5,000 pa si kuan gani kay kuan ra. Ano lang kuan ana gani.
The
So
value is gonna be
yeah,
affected.
but at the same time, it's lisod po siya because of course you understand those na they just
Yes.
need to have that.
Earn a buck.
Yeah, I just need to earn a buck ana gani. So muna siya mo yung kung nga hagit gid siya sa community. In fact, kana no, if makita ka nga barato ra kaayo, give more. Like you give what the artist deserves if you feel nga ana, di ba? I mean, even akong younger brother has really gotten to that point na gani nga nang mo kuan na gyud ko mo stand na gyud ko kung unsa ang akong gi deserve na, which is true. I mean, people only see the 5-minute performance. They don't see the
The practice.
10, 15, 20 years of mastering one single skill of like a few seconds of that one song that you had to master for years. So kana siya, I think importante jud kaayo nga magtinabangay ta as artists, which is great because dagan kay artists diri sa Dumaguete. Kana lang no, I hope lang nga di lang ta magaway-away kay
Bawal away.
although kung sa akin dili man na siya malikayan no. Naadyo mga away-away no, pero I hope we really kanang know unsa gyud atong goals gani ba. And then also really kuan ba know nga ang community really needs to understand gani who we are and what our worth is. I mean, mohang yun kag doktor, mohang yun
Educate your clients. So good. Educate your clients.
Yeah, exactly,
Education na di
exactly.
kulang.
Yeah, because ako, remember pa ko before katumurag nag-freelance ko at some point niya. Kanang dili ko kay usay mag-host mo ko sa una. Nanti one time nga naay magpa-host na ko din. Walay mention og fee ba. So, ako na I really pushed myself to say, by the way, this is my rate. Wa siya ni dayon. Ni ako, okay. Ano ba? I mean, because this is something that I've always been thinking about, like rates for the artists. Because it's not just me, manggod ang lagi maka-affect magug ka
Basta,
sa uban. Yeah.
Basta, very important jud nga happy ng imuhang samot ang artist kay maapektuhan jud ng trabaho.
Yeah. And also, makita man pod gud nimo nga, di ba, if wala ang artist kay wala gyud, I think, my God, imagine
Black
ang
and
world
white.
ang world nga walay art, no? It must be
Black
so
and white.
miserable,
Yeah.
no? We would all look the same.
Sorry sa mga dili artist ha.
Pero I mean, you don't have to be an artist.
Yes.
I think people who say, no, I'm not an artist, you just don't realize how much art you're consuming in a
Yes, you
day.
listen to songs.
You are
watch
consuming
movies.
it every single day. You have been
Yes.
consuming it for free. If it was all gone one day, then you will recognize, hala, dapat di ay mo ni akong gibayad atong ana ganito. Di ba? I mean, ana ba? You just give people their due.
Yes.
Talent fee.
1,000%.
Char. Pero yeah.
Thank you,
Yun,
Kaya,
so
for
malala.
coming.
Thank
Salamat,
you. Thank you for
everyone.
having me.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Links
Bye-bye.
ni Ona sa ubos. Thank you.